Well, hey there, this is Chase, and I've gotten a couple of requests, and I've told this story a few times to people that have asked about the lion that I photographed. And I'll also show a kind of a picture of the poster that it was used for. But this was taken in, I believe, 1993, after I had graduated from Brooks Institute in Santa Barbara. It was one of the first big shoots that I had in the effort to come up with really great stock photographs, meaning photographs that were taken previously before the client, there was no client actually. There was me knowing that this was potentially a very good shoot to do. And that weekend, I think I spent close to $7,000 up front, plus my expenses of going to Northern California. I lived in LA at the time, and all that to photograph in this situation where it was very controlled. This is Joseph. He's an MGM, what they use in the MGM movies and things like that. He's a trained lion. He was a third generation lion that had been used. So when you see an MGM movie and you hear see the roar of that lion right at the beginning, that was probably his, who knows? It was a lion related to Joseph. And so it was pretty exciting weekend, and I photographed Bengal tigers and leopards and snow leopards, obviously Joseph the African lion, and it was pretty amazing. And what we would do is there was a group of 10, maybe 12 of us that had each spent that amount of money. It was an amazing amount of expense, but these were photographers that were like me, that were realizing that the potential of having images of these lions and leopards and tigers running and doing things that you could never even hope for. And I was very fortunate. So the morning photographing the lion, I was with this group, and we got all ready, and I had just got a new, it was a 200 millimeter f1.8 lens, but it was an autofocus lens, and it was really, at the time, it was really fast, and I knew I was going to have the chance to photograph a lot of running, moving, coming at you, going, all this stuff. And I knew that I just couldn't focus fast enough by myself. And this was such an expense. And I got the lens from Canon. And so they loaned it to me as part of their professional services. And so I had it for 2 weeks, something like that. And obviously I had it for the shoot. So the morning of, we just all set up. The trainer, I can't remember his name, but he was a really great guy, came out. Joseph was there. He was just kind of wandering around, not wandering around, but he was very accustomed to people. He's not a pet, trained animal, wild animal, still extraordinarily strong, still could swat you and knock you over, but he was used to people, and he was trained. And so trainer walked down. He had several pieces of meat, raw meat, and Joseph hadn't been fed that morning, I don't believe. He wasn't starving. He just probably was a little bit hungry. And so they walked him, I'm guessing, 60, 80 yards away, okay? And there was a group of, several of us, all on tripods, all ready to go, just waiting. And I think there were 5 or 6 attempts where he would just get Joseph, and then he would just launch this piece of meat right in front of us. Well, on this particular one, it landed. I was not looking to where it landed. I was watching Joseph, and I was all ready, and he came running, and he's literally running right to me. And when he got to the piece of meat, obviously he stopped. He was not interested in us. So the joke is, was I running away? No. It was totally safe, totally professional, very and safe for Joseph as well, because it was in an area where no other people could see what was going on. Obviously, you could imagine what, if you saw this going on, like, oh my God, this lion's gonna kill all these people, call the police, whatever. You don't want that. So it was very controlled, very professional. They do this. This is Joseph's job. Okay, he's a lion. He's been in probably lots of movies, lots of ads, all this stuff. And so after that morning, I never really, come to think about it, I probably did look, but he was just eating this piece of meat in this one pass right in front of me. And so it was back in the days of film, and so I didn't know exactly what I had until I got it back. But I mean, the image was just awesome. Coming head on, I mean, just looking dead on right to me, and it's been a really great image. It hasn't generated tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars, but it has definitely paid for itself many times over. So I don't know the exact figures. There were one time I know it sold for $15,000. I only got half of that because that's a relationship with a stock agency. So, but it's a pretty fun image, and this was actually after midday, and they taken a break, and I can't remember the guy that set it up, but he said, does anyone want to take their picture with Joseph? And I'm like, yeah. So I set up my camera on a tripod already, focused in on Joseph, and I walked around, and I'm behind him. It looks like I'm right next to him, but that's what a telephoto lens can do. It compresses his distance. So what appears, it all appears like I'm really close, but I was really actually behind him. And then he yawned, and the photographer that took that obviously knew that was a great shot, so they took that, and it's been a really fun image, and it was really a fun event. And so that's the story behind the running lion and Joseph. And was it dangerous? No, it was a piece of cake. It was really fun, but I was, that amount of money, I did not want to risk not getting a great image, and the following of the focus and all that is very important to get, and I got it. And so it's just one of those things of not just taking a photograph, but making a photograph. And so I had to spend a lot of money. I had to be in the right place at the right time. Granted, even if I was off a little bit, it's still a great image, but he was just dead on right to me. So pretty fortunate. Being lucky is being in the right place at the right time. That's what luck is. So I was in the right place at the right time, thus I was lucky. So here's to Joseph, and what a great lion he is. And yeah, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.